I'm Jen. Welcome to Firespiral Friday Roundup. So this week we put the new Cirrus collection into stock. The Sleepy Dust Cirrus Nocturne and the Water Witch Murmuration. So we've been packing and posting those. We've sent some cloth to Oak Wren to make into ponchos too, because we've had some poncho orders. We've also had 2 of the blanket pre-orders completely fill up now, the ones that were due to be ready in the middle of the year. So if there's a pre-order that you'd like to see, then write to us and chat about your ideas, and we'll see if we can get it to go ahead. Certainly if it's something that we think other people will be interested in, we'd always rather make something that you've approached us and say, can you make this, rather than have us sort of rack our brains and guess what you'd like. So yeah, that, and we've put the final touches to the plans for the new collection. All the yarns ordered, we're just waiting for our slot on the loom now, so that's pretty much it. I thought I'd show you around here a little bit because I've not much else to tell you. So Firespiral doesn't have any big premises or offices or what have you. We're very lightweight and streamlined. We work from our homes. We each have a workshop like this. This is my little one. And then we work in our kitchens and living rooms and what have you. Firespiral sort of, we don't have a divide between now we're at work, now we're at home. It just sort of slots into our lives like a child does, really, and that works really well for us. It helps us to keep going, really. We've made us very flexible, certainly over the past year. So this is my workshop, and I tend to keep all the pre-production stuff. So underneath those wraps, there's boxes of yarn on the walls and on the table and under the table. And oh, that's a big box of scrap there. So the pre-production stuff is here, and then we get the cloth woven, and the cloth goes to Judith's workshop, which is sort of situated in between where I live and where Tamsin lives. And so the rolls of cloth go there. Judith sews and hems all the wraps, and then they go up to Tamsin, and Tamsin has them there to pack and post. Oh, I have blankets as well. That's my job, blankets. I like that one. So that's pretty much it. That's the whole of Firespiral HQ, 3 little rooms. But it does work well for us, and it's one of the ways that we kind of make sure that our footprint is small, and that's really important to us. I mean, the way that we source our yarn is a way that involves as little waste as possible. We try and get our yarn from when other big companies are weaving thousands of meters of cloth, the cones that they have left over that they cannot use tend to be big enough for us to do a run or 2 runs of our cloth. And so we sort of slot underneath them, and all the stuff that would be useless to them is very useful to us, and we find a purpose for that. And then we have some cones that then we don't have enough of to do a full run. So this was the Moss Twilight Winter Hill, the moss wool from that, and we've only got 4 cones of this. So this is the kind of thing that we can either alternate with some other yarns and use it as a different weft, or we then find a home for this. We send it on to hand weavers, or we send it to schools or textile groups or what have you, but we make sure that everything gets used. And it's the same with our cloth. Once we've made the cloth, that's all zero waste too. So blankets, dead easy, because we use reclaimed cotton in the first place, so that uses up cuttings of fabric that would have been going to landfill, that then get chopped down and respun into yarn, and we use them to weave the blankets. And then each blanket is a single piece. There's no excess cut off, there's no waste at all. It all gets used. And the wraps, let's find a wrap. So the wraps, we cut our wraps by hand, so there's no machine excess wastage, and we sew the wraps, and then at some point there'll be some pieces left that are a bit too small to turn into a wrap or even a bag or what have you. You know, we send cloth off to other makers who need smaller amounts, and eventually we get to the point where those pieces are too small for making most things, and at that point we turn them into wrap scrap mystery packs like this one, where these have bits that are great for home crafts. So, ooh, drop them. There'll be some bigger pieces, and there'll be some little tiny bits there that are still useful for something, and we see people make some beautiful things out of these bits of cloth. And eventually the bits get so small, like little teeny weeny bits, like this box here, and those are the bits that we then send on to local schools or to community projects or what have you, and you can make things like little rag projects, or they can get broken down into fibres or what have you. But we literally try and put nothing into the bin, because that sits well with us. And one of the beauties of being a small business is that we can do that. We can be as light-footed as that. Yeah, so that makes us feel pretty good. It's a lot of work. One of the things that I need to do today is to photograph some of these cones, because we had a weaver contact us and ask for some earthy toned things, and so that sounds like an exciting plan. And it's nice to know that even stuff that a business that's small as ours can't use, someone else can use it. You know, it feels good to work that way. Yeah, so I think that's all I can think to tell you. I need to go and get a cup of coffee now. Yeah, so have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you next week.